Welcome back. Now we go to Ryan Sondercook for your 5-day weather forecast.
Despite the mild temperatures recently, you can expect a major cool down by the end of the week. Today is cloudy with a high of +1. Tomorrow expect a high of 3 with a light snow in the morning, turning to rain by the afternoon. On Friday, expect flurries with a high of 0. This weekend will be a chilly one with a high of -5 on Saturday and a low of -12. Then on Sunday, we'll see a high of only -7 and a very cool low of -14. That's all for your weather update. Now back to the newsroom.
Thanks, Ryan. International watchdog Human Rights Watch most frequently reports on abusive regimes like Syria and Cameroon, but this time it's drawing the world's attention to northern British Columbia. There, Mounties are accused of physically and sexually abusing Aboriginal women. The group released a damning report this morning, and it called on Ottawa to launch an inquest into the disappearance of dozens of First Nations women along the BC's infamous Highway of Tears. It says RCMP mistreatment may have made Aboriginal communities more vulnerable along the stretch of Highway 16. The RCMP says it takes the allegations seriously, but has been unable to investigate because it hasn't received any complaints up to this point.
The well-known rule in parks across the country is don't feed the wildlife. But all that could change for Canada's polar bears. 12 of the world's top experts have released a report saying polar bear habitat is disappearing in the Hudson Bay area. It says that melting sea ice means fewer polar bears can survive off their surrounding environment. And one possible fix could be feeding the bears. Alternative solutions include moving them elsewhere or culling them to a more supportable size.
Christopher Dorner is believed to be dead after a shootout in the San Bernardino Mountains, 80 miles east of Los Angeles. The cabin that Dorner barricaded himself in was set on fire by police after one sheriff deputy was killed and another wounded in the shootout. A $1 million reward was offered by Los Angeles police to bring him in after he killed a former police captain's daughter and her fiancé. Dorner never escaped the cabin, and police discovered a charred body inside.
The death toll of the 2-year-old civil war in Syria is approaching nearly 70,000 people. Since the beginning of the year, the war has killed over 9,000. The United Nations Security Council has been divided over the Syrian conflict that began in March 2011. The United States and their European allies have pushed for council action to pressure President Bashar al-Assad to end the fighting. But allies of Syria, Russia and China have vetoed 3 Western-backed resolutions.
And now with your sports update, here's Daniel Bazzelli.
Well, both the men's and women's volleyball teams are in action tonight, hosting Niagara College in their final games of the season. The women are looking to maintain their flawless record this season. A win tonight over Niagara would have the women finish the season undefeated with an 18-0 record going into the OCAA championships later this month. Meanwhile, the men may have their hands full with a Niagara team that is 14-3 on the season and hasn't lost a game since November 30th. The men's team is coming off a loss last week to Redeemer. It is a busy night in the NBA with 12 games on the docket, including the Toronto Raptors on the road battling the Knicks in New York. The Raps are riding a 3-game win streak after last night's 109-108 win over the Denver Nuggets. Rudy Gay sank the winning basket with less than 5 seconds left in the game after spending most of the fourth quarter on the bench because of foul trouble. Raps head coach Dwayne Casey says that Gay is fulfilling his role on the team as a clutch player.
Well, he's a big-time player. I mean, he's a closer. On his roll card, it'd be all across the front of it, closer. And he's done it his whole career, done it at a high level in playoffs and big games. He's done it against us in Dallas. And so I've seen him do it so many times. And so that's what he does.
But it won't be easy for the Raptors going back-to-back against a Knicks team that boasts a 19-7 record at home. The Raptors are a dismal 6-19 on the road. And there are only 3 games in the NHL tonight with 2 Canadian teams in action. The Sens are in Pittsburgh for a meeting with Sid Crosby and the Penguins. Ottawa and Pittsburgh are tied in the standings with 16 points apiece. The winner of tonight's game jumps into sole possession of 5th place in the East. And the Calgary Flames are in tough tonight as they host the Dallas Stars. The Flames have only got 3 wins so far this season and sit tied for dead last in the West. Meanwhile, the Stars have been playing really strong of late, and they'll be looking to make it 5 straight wins. And the third game tonight has the Red Wings taking on the St. Louis Blues at the Joe in Detroit. It's a big day in soccer as the Champions League round of 16 continues. One of the most anticipated games of the year has Cristiano Ronaldo and Real Madrid hosting Manchester United. This afternoon is the first leg of their battle to see who moves on to the Champions League quarterfinals. The focus of today's game will undoubtedly be Ronaldo, who is facing his former team for the first time since joining Madrid. Ronaldo made headlines in 2009 with a record-setting €80 million transfer from Man U to the Spanish capital. In 6 seasons with United, Ronaldo helped the Reds win 3 Premiership titles and 1 Champions League crown. That's it for sports. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Dan. They're calling it guppy love. Researchers say a guppy fish will use his or her ugly friends to make itself look more attractive to a mate. Colleagues at an Italian university experimented with guppy fish by creating a mock dating game in an aquarium. 2 females were set up opposite each other. One had 2 brightly colored attractive males placed beside her, while the other female was stuck with uglier, less colorful fish. When a male was put in the middle of the tank, he spent 62% of his time around bachelorette number 2, who was surrounded by the ugly fish. How romantic.
That's all for Humber News today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Marco DeMeo.
And I'm Helen Surgener. Humber News is written and broadcast by journalism students at the North Campus. You can also catch us on YouTube. We'll see you next time.